Hello friends, this is Bhatia from Sukhmani Immigration Services, Brampton, Canada. I'm a regulated and licensed Canadian immigration consultant. Today's video, everyone is talking now, but I discussed with you this details almost like 10 months back. What is this detail? Why we are talking it now? I will share everything with you. But before that, a request. If you have not subscribed to the channel so far, please consider subscribing. We talk a lot about Canadian immigration news, update, tips and tricks on this channel. If you like the video, please share it with your family and friends. And don't forget to press the bell icon. So without further delay, let's get started on a very important video which is going to affect a lot of people. And this video is about knock knock. Yeah, knock knock. Yeah, it's about knock code. So knock is getting changed to TEER. No, not that TEER, it's TEER. So TEER code. So knock to TEER, and this change is happening very soon. So that's why we are talking about knock to TEER. So what is it? We'll talk about it. So first of all, this change is going to happen 2 days from now, November 16th. November 16th, 2022, this change is going to happen. And there is a knock code which most of us are aware of. Knock code is 4 digits. This knock code is going to change to 5 digits. This is the first change which is going to happen. And knock code system is basically skill type and skill level. So there is 5, which is O, A, B, C and D. This will be replaced by 6 category system, which is TEER. So TEER system is coming in, and that is the reason PNP draws are on freeze, because backend needs to be changed. So that is why you don't see me talking about PNP draws, because PNP draws are not happening. So PNP draws will be happening right after November 16th. You probably will see almost like a flood of PNP draws coming in. So we'll share all those when they will be coming in, but for now, no PNP draws are coming in for last almost like a month because of this change which is happening in the back end. So knock to TEER change is happening. Lots of programs are going to get affected. So topmost programs which are going to get affected are Express Entry, and in Express Entry, particularly all the 3 categories, which is Federal Skilled Worker, Canadian Experience Class, Federal Skilled Trade, all these are going to be affected. PNP program, of course, is another one which is going to be affected. Atlantic immigration programs, they also will be going to be affected. Caregiver pilot program, not much impact, but in the terms that, of course, instead of 4-digit code, now you have to use a 5-digit code. So rural and northern immigration pilot, again the same thing, the code gets changed. Agriculture food pilot, international mobility program, temporary foreign worker, your LMIAs, which have the knock codes on them, they will also get impacted. So I have a complete video on all these programs, including the last one, which is the construction worker program. So that also is going to get affected. So now a question which comes to your mind, what is this knock? So I have discussed this knock in detail in my previous video on January of this year, when nobody was talking about knock or TEER system. At that time, I have shared these details with you. Now that everyone is talking, so here I am telling you again the same details. So knock is basically an abbreviation. It's acronym which is National Occupational Classification. It is a system of classifying the jobs. So jobs get classified, and what in Canadian market, right, each job has a description. So job seekers get to know what is the job description, what is the education requirement for this job. Do you need a university degree? Do you need a high school? What is the education requirements? What is the skill requirement? Skill, how much work experience you need, what type of other additional knowledge you need. So that is skill requirements. So that's also that IRCC is this knock codes, they are used not just by IRCC, they are used by so many other organizations. Not just don't think that this is only IRCC using the NOC codes. Lot of agencies, lot of government, semi-government agencies, private agencies, they use NOC codes. So all those, even in their system also, the change needs to happen. So this is a big change which will be coming in. NOC will be replaced. So now another question which you say, why this needs to be replaced? Who is responsible for NOC? So basically, NOC is handled by two agencies. So one which is responsible is ESTC, which is Employment and Social Development Canada, that is responsible for NOC, but development and maintenance of NOC is jointly handled by ESTC as well as Statistics Canada. Statistics Canada is a wonderful big organization and it keeps lots of important statistics. So they help in getting this NOC codes organized. NOC was introduced in 1990s and every 5 years it changes because some jobs they become redundant. They become new jobs coming. For example, a YouTuber job. Right? YouTuber job was not there 10 years back. So that new job kind of gets in and some jobs become redundant. So that is why it needs to be continuously changed. And this change happens after every 5 years. But after 10 years, overhaul happens. This overhaul is supposed to happen on actually it happened on September 21, 2021. It's already done. But to reflect those changes, these changes, there is a deadline which is November 16th. So November 16th is the deadline when all these changes are reflected and that is where they will be shown. That is why you see all the PNP draws are frozen because the changes are happening in the background. So now that you know who is responsible for NOC and also why is NOC changing. So NOC changes, major changes which is called overhaul happens after 10 years and that 10-year time period has come now and now these changes will happen. Now another question, what is TEER? Now TEER basically is another acronym. Canadian government loves acronyms. So acronym TEER means Training, Education, Experience and Responsibilities. There are 6 levels, 6 groupings, TEER 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So 6 groupings are there in TEER. Now mapping, this is key and most important thing. So TEER skill type O is mapped to TEER 0. Skill type A is mapped to TEER 1. Skill type B is mapped here. Here is the changes going to happen. So this is kind of mapped to TEER 2 and TEER 3. So partially it goes, some things goes in TEER 2 and some things go in TEER 3. Skill level C is mapped to TEER 4 and skill level D is mapped to TEER 5. If we look in terms of NOC codes, NOC O is mapped to TEER O. NOC A is mapped to TEER 1 and NOC B is mapped to TEER 2 and TEER 3. That is where the changes are going to happen. So some of the NOC B jobs are getting impacted, right? So NOC C, again it's mapped to TEER 4 and D to TEER 5. There are some of the jobs which are getting impacted. I'll talk about it, particularly for express entry standpoint. For now, let's look at the TEER and the occupation type. So basically TEER and occupation type is TEER O are management occupations. Senior manager, executives, managing directors, TEER O, management occupations. TEER 1. TEER 1 usually requires a university degree. TEER 2 is here you need to be little careful. Tier 2 and Tier 3 has very kind of similar requirements. If you look at it, both require college diploma. Tier 2 and Tier 3 both require college diploma, both require training apprenticeship, but difference is Tier 2 is a supervisory role and Tier 3 is not a supervisory role. That's where the difference comes into. For Tier 4, of course, you just need a high school diploma. Tier 5, practically you don't need any education. It is no formal education required. So these are various tier categories, and now comes the impact on express entry. This is the most important part of this video, so please watch carefully. Impact on express entry. I'm getting so many emails, so many messages. I just get flooded with all this information. So what is the impact on express entry? So there are three types of impacts on express entry, and please listen to this very carefully. So first impact is those who have not received the ITA, who have till now, those who have not got their invitation to apply. So those who have not got the invitation to apply till November 16th, what you need to do, and please, this is important and you need to act on this. If you have a profile in express entry, you need to update. Again telling you, update your profile after November 16th. Log in and update your profile and put, instead of the NOC code, put TEER. So this you need to do. This is a mandatory requirement. Please do that, right? So that your profile remains active. This is first. Those who have not received ITA till November 16th and who have profile in express entry, if they need to keep their profile active, need to make changes, right? This is first category. Category number 2. If you are planning to submit your profile tomorrow, day after tomorrow, then wait for 2 more days. Submit after November 16th. If you submit after November 16th, then you need to use the TEER code, not the NOC code. So this is scenario number 2. If you are planning to submit a fresh new profile to the express entry, do it after November 16th so that you use TEER code. And here also do not get confused. NOC 2021 is the name of the TEER code itself. So either you say TEER or NOC 2021, it's the same thing. Third scenario is you have received ITA. Now if you have received ITA before November 16, which is invitation to apply, you have to do nothing. You don't even have to look at the TEER because you have received invitation before November 16th. So you will be using only the NOC code, not the TEER code. So I hope these 3 scenarios are clear, and because a slight mistake can really ruin the things. So impact on express entry, right? As I said, lot of occupations have become eligible because they moved up, right? So they moved up and they are now in express entry. For example, truck drivers. Truck drivers were earlier not able to make their profile in express entry because trucking is NOC job. But now they can make a profile in express entry. And there are 16 jobs like this which were previously not allowed to make a profile in express entry, but now they can make a profile in express entry, and these jobs are payroll administrator, their dental assistants, nursing aid or orderlies, truck drivers, and pharmacy technicians, technical assistants, and then you have elementary school teachers, secondary school teacher assistant, teaching assistants, which we call as TAs, sheriffs, and correctional service officers. Then you have bylaw officers. Also we have occupations like residential and commercial installers, you have pest controllers, then you have other repairs and services, bus drivers, heavy equipment operators, and lastly aircraft assemblers. So all these jobs have become eligible for express entry. They can make a profile in the express entry. Some jobs have become ineligible in the express entry, and those ineligible jobs are other performers. You have program leaders, particularly the fitness instructors, as well as tailors, dressmakers. They all become ineligible. So this is the change which is going to happen in the express entry, and there is basically a difference. And just to recapitulate that difference between NOC and TEER, so NOC is a 4-digit 2016 NOC, right? 2021 NOC, which is also called TEER, is 5-digit codification. It's a 4-skill level, it is a 6 grouping, it's 4-tiered arrangement, it is a 5-tier arrangement. Then a NOC code example I have given here. The most important thing, the coverage of NOC 2016 was less, whereas the latest NOC has a broader and more coverage. So if you need to talk about your own case, your own profile, you can book a consultation meeting with us. Our office is located in Brampton, Canada, and email ID, phone numbers, everything is shared here with you. Very important thing. If you have not subscribed to the channel so far, please consider subscribing, and thank you very much for watching the video. Thanks.